Okay, so we've got 5 reels of 35mm negative of what we think is the vise, and we know what 4 of them are, but this one we don't know what it is, so we're going to have a look what the title is, hopefully. Now there are a few issues with this, so there was a little bit of water damage here, so when I unspool it, it might crack, and I know that there's some insect infestation on these, so I'm going to have to wash my hands afterwards. So let's have a look. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's just paper. Yeah, so that's water damage where the emulsion's got wet and it's glued itself to the side of the film. So again, we're just having a preliminary look just to see what is here. Okay, so it says picture backwards. And this is a standard leader, which it says on it, myself, do not patch this leader. If this leader is torn or broken, replace with a new leader. So this should give us a clue as to what this is. Okay, so we know what this is. It's called diplomatic error. I don't want to unwind too much of this because this film is not in the best condition. It hasn't gone vinegar yet, which is good. Commercial split, so it's got a break there. So this film does, I can feel that it does have some tackiness to it. Okay, so we've got some picture here. So it's definitely a negative. I'll just so we've got the leader is here. There's a cement join there. Yeah, so that is a nice looking negative, and this is probably the original camera negative and therefore the best possible thing to find. But this is only 1 reel of 3, and these are 30-minute films, and they're made of 3 reels, and this is 1 of 3. So we now need to find the other 2 reels of negative. Okay, so bit of a whiff of vinegar there. So this is reel 2 of Death Takes No Holiday, and as you can see, there is an issue with this film. Now that doesn't mean to say that it's not recoverable, but we think this is the original negative, and that is in quite a sorry state. Now the good news is that a lot of this is going to be on the edge of the film, and depending on how successful we are at cleaning this off, bearing in mind the image is in the middle section, all of this rust and water ingress hopefully won't have gone in too far, and it may not have affected all of the image. And obviously towards the end of the reel, it seems to be slightly freer of water damage. But I mean, you can see what's happened. What moisture has got into the can, which we know went very rusty, and in effect, what's happened is the film has glued itself together. The film has gone tacky, and then it's dried out, and so it's set. That's going to be a challenge to do anything with. Oh, now there are 3 reels in here, and these smell dreadful. Very, very strong smell of vinegar. I mean, almost overpowering if you put your nose in. Oh dear. So I'll be quick. So there is a little bit of moisture damage here. The film feels tightly wound and doesn't feel like there's much movement in it, and that might be a bad sign. It might indicate that a lot of moisture has got in, and the negative has stuck to itself. So we're going to have to get that looked at very, very carefully. Let's just put that down there. So this is called Behind the Mask. That's reel 1. I don't know what, do we know what these are? This, you see, this is not a good sign. So this might explain. It's hard for you to see, but this is almost solid. So I don't know whether you can see this kind of crazing. And so this is actually in fairly advanced stages of vinegar decay. So even though the smell isn't quite as powerful now it's out of the box, this is not a good sign. I mean, arguably this is not going to be recoverable. I mean, you can see instead of the nice sheen that you would expect, you've got this kind of raised bubbling, which has then gone hard. So this is basically a solid piece of material. There's no movement apart from just on the edge here. And so that, I don't think is going to be recoverable at all. So that's not a good sign at all. That's even the fact that it was in the bag can be a good or a bad sign. It might protect it from immediate damage, but it can also trap. This is called Saber of London, Come Out Fighting, and it's one of the 3 reels. I think it's possibly reel 1, maybe. Hard to say. So, unfortunately, I think that reel of Come Out Fighting from the 16th of September 1959 is possibly not going to be recoverable. This one Behind the Mask is fine. And so we've got, what have we got here? This is the Vise Neg, reel 3, collector's item. So we've seen another collector's item negative. Right, so again, we've got the same problem. We've got the same problem that this, unfortunately, has glued itself together. So again, it's in a solid block, and it's very unlikely we're going to be able to separate that. We'll need to take some advice about how best to approach that.